friendly blanketing clouds on a March day. It was a fortuitous time to visit, as it was Hamburg's gentle awakening from a harsh winter. It was a trip to celebrate Emmy as she launches into her next decade. It was as much a trip of discovery as it was a trip to reminisce. Of my limited social, geographical, and historical awareness, Hamburg was non-existent. Visiting Hamburg was an afterthought, a placeholder, oh by the way part of the itinerary. It was a mere distraction in what was to be our trip to be reunited with Blaze on his childhood birthday tradition. By the same whimsical token, we joined a bike tour. Emmy had not been on a bike since forever, but these comfortable, safe bikes with 2 handbrakes and pedal brakes with dipped women's step-through frames were all welcomed features.
Welcome to Hamburg.
The tour began with the disclaimer that there would be 4 Irishmen with their stipulation that there be included a stop for a pint of Guinness. As a Chinese American, I was quick to wrongly assume that there would be a lack of commonality with these chaps. However, there's a universality in music, cinema, cuisine, literature, and in the sleep-depriving snorings of husbands. The 4 were on their yearly adventure apart from their wives, and I surmise was a bit of a reprieve for everyone. When I realized they were teachers, Frank McCourt, my Irish New York City Stuyvesant High School English teacher, became a central topic. We spoke if he was a mutual friend, of his brother, of Angela's Ashes, of his other novels, of TB sanitariums, and of his passing. I saluted these 4 Irish educators for their impact on the next generation, their lasting imprint on young lives that will shape the world yet to come, a world so desperately in need of healing and inspiration. They returned my salute as if I was a disciple of one of their own. Hamburg's past encounters with atrocity, the Danes, Vikings, Napoleon, the Allies, painted a history in all forms of tragedy, resistance, acceptance, ingenuity, resilience. As in all of nature, the geographic beauty found in Hamburg is married to the epic cycles of natural calamities, the floods, and the fires. Powerful was the resilience of the social structure that was woven atop such a dynamic geography. So much unrealized, unrecorded. It once again reaffirmed that written history is often shrouded in biases and convenient amnesias. The real records are in the unearthed stones, recycled bricks, the calluses on heritage oak trees, the whispered, recited tales that were passed through the generations, and the narrations of our tour guide, Philip. Philip opened with an explanation of how it was that an Australian was leading a tour in Germany. It was evident that he was born a storyteller and he had story to tell. The war was going to be an inescapable topic that would theme the tour. The signature skyline of Hamburg spoke of church steeples. During the war, through civilian carpet bombings, these majestic spires were spared. But it was not out of compassion nor out of piety, but purely out of their strategic navigational utility. Philip recounted his own personal circuitous experience with Holocaust participants and survivors. I can sense the weight of his personal searching question pointing to the extent of our individual responsibilities in times when we come face to face with our human failures and social injustices. Through childhood, I had a very linear thinking. I believed that what I seek would be revealed when I reached my destination, my diploma, my career, my family, my retirement. I've since learned more. Life's reward is in the journey. The joy in discoveries when getting lost. Enjoying the show with no expectations, tickets of which bought errantly. The unintentional epiphany or a spontaneous bike tour. And then, yet, there is even more to the destination, more to the journey's meanderings. There is what I have always cherished, and that is a thought Philip left with us in parting. What makes the tour most enjoyable is the people we meet along the way, the times and the stories that we share. 4 Irishmen, a Chinese-American family, and an Aussie.
The wealth of the city and the beauty of it.
So what you were saying when you were on?
A bagpipe on a once bombed bridge wailed a nasal, melancholy, and yet hopeful poem, announced a muted Hamburg sunset as our bike tour rolled to an end.